You're listening to Systemic Error Podcast. The failure was designed.
The real story behind the GOP's beef with James Talarico, based on an article by The Conversation. Tofu is not the story. Power is. The joke is the vehicle. The source story is simple enough. Ken Paxton, Greg Abbott, Ted Cruz, Donald Trump, and Fox's Jesse Watters have turned James Talarico's alleged vegetarianism into a running insult. Talarico denies it. The smear persists. The article's academic lens is about food metaphors. That is true, but incomplete. The political fact is that powerful Republicans are using ridicule to mark a Democrat as weak, alien, and unserious while avoiding actual debate about governing. Who has the power here? This is not a fight between equals. Paxton is the Texas Attorney General. Abbott is the governor. Cruz is a U.S. Senator. Trump is the president. Watters is a national megaphone for the same coalition. These are not random commentators riffing on a candidate's lunch order. They are institutional actors with the capacity to shape what counts as normal, masculine, Texan, and electable. Talarico is the target, not the system. What the smear is doing. The point is not to prove he eats tofu. The point is to attach weakness to him by way of a cultural script. Meat means strength, tradition, and belonging. Plant-based food means softness, liberalism, and deviation. That script is doing ideological labor. It collapses climate concern, nonconformity, and even sexuality into one contempt package. Watters' gay vegan joke makes the underlying method plain, mock the identity, and you can avoid the policy. Misdirection as method. The article gets closest to the truth when it notes that the accusations likely trace back to Talarico's 2022 climate remarks about reducing meat consumption. That is the actual issue they want buried. A Democrat talking about climate, food systems, and material limits gets translated into a caricature about whether he can handle barbecue. This is not confusion. It is deliberate misdirection, built to replace policy conflict with social policing. The right's meat politics. The broader pattern is bigger than one Senate race. The Trump era has made meat into a loyalty signal. Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s carnivore posturing, the USDA's red meat elevation, state bans on cultured meat, DeSantis casting lab-grown meat as an elite plot. This is not nutrition policy. It is symbolic governance. The state, the campaign trail, and the media all get used to enforce a hierarchy of who belongs to the nation and who supposedly does not. What this story actually shows. The source article treats the smear as an example of political communication. It is that, but also something harsher, a right-wing power structure using everyday consumption habits as a proxy war over democracy, culture, and legitimacy. The tactic works because it is petty on the surface and authoritarian underneath. It trains voters to laugh at dissent before they listen to it. You've been listening to Systemic Error. Thanks to Alternet for today's article, with the automated voice of Ryan. Thanks for listening.